Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilization, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to Retrek. I'm Captain Jim. With me, of course, is Admiral Elliot.
Hi there.
We're going to be talking about Dreamcatcher from Prodigy and the Dyer's cast from Deep Space Nine. But first, I'm sure everyone's already seen this, but we need to talk about the Trek news, which is that Paramount, Viacom, whatever you want to call it, looks to have bought out the deal that they did with Netflix in order to distribute Discovery internationally, which means that the way you're going to be able to access Discovery internationally is going to be through Paramount Plus. But the bad news is that we don't know when Paramount Plus is launching, other than it's sometime next year.
Sometime in 2022. Right.
So that now means that with 2 days' notice, there's no way to watch Discovery internationally.
Yeah, it's like there's ways to watch it internationally because there's ways around it. Like we already know that, but strictly speaking, they have cut everyone off apart from America and Canada from watching it when it comes out. And
we knew that was the case with Prodigy, and it's one thing when it's a brand new show that's a kids show. So it's probably, obviously we're covering it, we're enjoying Prodigy, but I get it if there's fans who are not that fussed for it. But Discovery, to all intents and purposes, is your flagship live action show.
Yeah.
And it's got a fan base. It's 3 seasons in. This is the 4th season. And
it's got a fan base. And when it launched, we all thought great because they had CBS All Access, it was at the time it launched on. But they did the deal with Netflix. And we understand there was a lot of money that Netflix helped with production costs and all that to take the show. But we were told that it was going to be a Netflix show.
Yep.
And with 2 days' notice, they've pulled it.
Yeah.
It's not on.
No, it's the timing of it, isn't it? I mean, it's not great that we're not getting it, but if we'd have had a bit of warning, at least we could have got used to the idea.
But the thing is, if Paramount Plus isn't ready to go international, why pull your shows from the international streaming markets?
We can only speculate, but my guess would be that they want season 4 of Discovery as a selling point for the new service. So it's out of spite, basically. It's like we don't want you to take the luster off our new toy, We want it to be its first broadcast because, they could have left it on Netflix, let Netflix have it as normal.
The thing is that,
I
imagine, they're going to find it really hard now to renew it for season 5 because their figures are going to be so much lower than what they've been.
That's true. Yeah.
Because they're gonna they'll have figures for what they're getting worldwide, and Netflix was showing it 24 hours after Paramount. In fact, it wasn't even 24 hours. They have huge data. Wow, there's all these tens of millions of people watching it. And suddenly all they've got is the American and Canadian market they've lost. Star Trek has a huge fan base in Europe.
Yeah.
If you look at your conventions in Europe, when they do, we took part in it, one of them, the world record for the most people dressed as Star Trek characters.
Yeah.
It's always at the European conventions that this record is broken. It's not the American ones.
Yeah. No, it's a shame. It's very annoying. There's nothing we can do about it, but
It isn't. But like Paramount releasing like good news, you're going to be able to. It's coming to Paramount Plus. It isn't good news. Whichever marketing exec has put together that statement wants firing, because it's not good news. All it's done is angered a lot of people.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, they could have phrased it as, we're really sorry that you're not getting to see Discovery, but we promise you it will be available. It'll be worth the wait. You know, they could have phrased it that way, but instead of, this is great news. No, it's
but
not.
it isn't. They're not even giving us a date. All they're saying is 2022. For all we know, it could be 31st of December 2022 when Paramount Plus launches by that statement. I'm sure it won't be that late, but...
No. I mean, the one good thing is that hopefully this will be the last streaming service you'll need to get for Star Trek. Like, I won't be surprised to see Picard and Lower Decks go from Prime soon.
Well,
and
like the worry I have is that we've got Picard season 2 starts after Discovery, early 2022.
Yeah.
If Paramount Plus hasn't started, is Picard going to be pulled from Amazon?
Yeah, I mean,
are we going to see a fourth show that we can't see when it comes out?
I mean, I suppose Jeff Bezos has got a bit more money than Mr. Netflix, so maybe they can afford to not do it, but I don't know. Anyway, I mean, we could say a lot more about that, and you're welcome to come and tell us what you think on the Facebook group, but I feel like we've made our feelings clear on it. And
the reality is that Voyager starts tomorrow. The new season starts. I'm going to be able to watch it. I've got the facilities. You're going to be able to watch it. You've got the facilities. But there's millions of people who won't.
No, absolutely. And yeah, it's not good. So anyway, let's talk about the new episode that we have been watching then, which is Dreamcatcher from Prodigy. And yeah, again, I think Prodigy's off to a good start. I enjoyed that one as well. I like that we've got Captain's Log, Stardate, I don't know.
So you get the impression that there's been a bit of a time jump this time between episodes.
Yeah, Janeway sat him down and she said, I'm going to teach you some actual stuff now.
Yeah, and like they talk about it, like she's taught us how to plot a course, she's taught us how to do this. I don't think it's a massive time jump.
No.
But maybe a week or two.
Yeah, like I worry about Janeway teaching him to plot a course because it's like, is that just going to be going to every nebula that you see? Because
well, she does do that in this episode.
Yeah, true.
Well, not nebula, but...
And we do get an idea where they are now. So we were talking about it. Where are they in the Delta Quadrant? They're in Hirogen space.
Yeah. So
they're about season 4 Voyager is where they are. Season 4-5 Voyager.
Yeah, so they're about halfway between the Caretaker and home at this point. Is it? Yeah, because they've been through 10 years by Kess. They've had a few other things. There may be 50 years at normal warp from home at this point.
Maybe, yeah. But we know that the protostar's capable of more than just normal warp. We just don't know
we haven't seen it yet, but
yeah. Janeway plays like the cadet card. As we said last week, she knows they're not really cadets. But she plays this card like, well, you are cadets, so you need to go down to the planet.
Well, this is the Nebula thing on Janeway plotting a course for them. Oh, there's an unexplored M-class planet.
And part of our mission is that we have to go explore these planets. So,
like, it's interesting, like, I'm picking up what to say, Cecilium life science, which is like fungus.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's go explore this. Why?
Because that's what Starfleet does. And I do get this sort of motherly vibe from Janeway here. Like, I know it's not real Janeway, but we're going to... And yeah, she obviously thinks there's a lot of potential in these kids. And if I can just get them to do the Starfleet stuff, I know they're not really Starfleet, but I think I can get the best out of them, I think is what she's thinking. And that's why she's still playing along with this, pretending.
Yeah, if you're not doing this as cadets, I'll have to inform your Federation overseers.
Yeah, she's letting them think that they've got one over on her. Like,
yeah, I still don't buy that. She really thinks the cadets. She knows what's going on.
I think she knows that kids get a buzz off thinking that they've got one over on adults.
Yeah.
So she's like, let them think that I'm falling for this cadets crap. And that'll mean that I can probably get myself to a position where they'll listen to me a bit more, where I can teach them a bit more. So then they go down to the planet. And I don't know whether this is just for the sake of the plot, but the protostar goes into land rather than beaming them down.
I was thinking this, like, when Voyager has landed in the past, there was a reason for it.
Yeah.
But this doesn't seem like there's any reason apart from its plot makeup.
No, it's there so that they can get stranded at the end.
Yeah, and they can have the cool buggy.
Yeah, which is cool. But the only other reason I thought maybe is, could it be because they don't know about transporters? Because we know that not every species has transporters.
Yeah. What, so you think that she's hiding technology?
Yeah, but not, again, she's doing it for a learning experience.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, get them to ask the questions, get them to realize that landing isn't always the best thing. So maybe she's giving them the leeway. They might have just gone to, right, okay, let's go land on the planet. Right, I'll let them land and see how it plays out. And
yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, you could be right. Like you get the impression by one of the screenshots early on that they actually in trans warp, not normal warp, when they've been traveling.
Maybe.
So they could have traveled a huge distance in these couple of weeks compared to Voyager. So they could have started, like we thought, over in sort of the caretaker area with Kazons. And we know the Kazons didn't have transporter technology.
Mm-hmm.
Neelix, when we first met him, his speech to actions obviously didn't, because he didn't know what a transporter was when they beamed him over.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, it makes sense that they've got this and let's land. They found the ship on the planet, landed, and took off. So, yeah, we land to get down.
Yeah, so maybe it's, she's letting them, whatever their first impulse is, let them explore that and then see what you can teach them afterwards. We find out the limits of Janeway's hologram on this. Like, we speculated, does she have a mobile emitter? We find out she doesn't. She can't leave the ship.
Yeah.
We also speculated, can she touch things? And we find out here Gwyn walks through her later on. So,
well, we have seen that with holograms before, that there can be solid ore. We've seen it with the Doctor where it can be solid ore, sort of like ghost light passing through.
Yeah, you're right. So maybe.
So I don't have any problem that she, at this point, she's like just let it be walked through. But I imagine that she can be solid if she needs to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll wait and see. You might be right there. Yeah,
I think with the holo emitter, the mobile emitter, like that was 27th century technology, so I think it makes sense that the Federation hasn't just been able to open it up and duplicate it straight
they've
off.
not been able to mass produce it.
They I imagine that the Doctor's going to be dodgy about them taking it and doing anything too much to it, so he might have let them scan it. But it's that sort of like, do you let them actually have it to build a new one?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and it might take time to also duplicate the technology.
Yeah. And then you mentioned the cool ground vehicle they get. Now, we were talking about things being toyetic last time.
Yeah.
It's very toyetic. I can see a play set where you get the protostar, you open up the shuttle bay, and you can pop this.
And you've got this little buggy comes out.
Yeah, so I can see. And you know what? I'd buy one. Not if it costs the same as that Playmobil Enterprise for 450 quid. But
that's just ridiculous.
It's down to 320 already on Amazon. So
it's still a ridiculous amount of money.
It can keep going down. I might think about it. We'll see. The planet looks beautiful. Like, I love how it's got all these like rock formations that are like big rings and everything.
Yeah.
Like, that looks amazing. To
be fair, like Prodigy looks visually stunning.
Yeah, it does.
All the way through so far, it has looked visually stunning. The animation, there's been no expense spared on the animation level.
Yeah. And Gwyn then escapes again. She seems to be making a habit of this.
Well, to be fair, the first time she didn't escape. Dal just turned off all the power.
That's still escaping, though. She used it as an opportunity to escape. I'm going with escape. And then now she...
But she does it like it's that sword thing that she had round her arm. She can control it mentally.
Now, yeah, exactly. So we find out she's got some degree of mental powers, but also... when that sword sort of turns into a blobby thing, it looks very much like a changeling.
Yeah, it does.
And the colour is even the same, that sort of browny goldy
colour.
And
now,
it makes me wonder...
I'm not sure she's telepathic or if she's had something implanted to be able to control.
Yeah, it could go either way, yeah. But it makes me wonder, I don't think it's a changeling, as in I don't think it's a being. But it might be similar to what the geezer had in that locket, you know, when it was the key.
Well, it could be a changeling because we do find out from DS9 that the founders sent baby changelings out hundreds of years ago to every corner of the galaxy.
We do, but we also know
So it could be a baby changeling that they're managing to manipulate.
Yeah, if it was a baby one, so I was going to say...
Well, Odo was found as a small sample, wasn't he? When he finds the other one, it's a small sample. And this would be about that size. So if you captured one, you don't know what it is, but then you find, we can stimulate its shapes by doing X, Y, and Z.
Maybe, yeah.
And it doesn't actually grow, so it becomes this weapon she's wearing.
But yeah, I was just wondering if it was something similar, like was it Crodin, who had the little locket with in it? You know, I don't know, but yeah, it could be effectively an enslaved changeling. It's just that we've seen things that shapeshift before that are not changelings, but it's just the fact the colour is very
the colour.
The way it moves is similar.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see if anything more comes of that. We might just be wildly speculating, but
we could be way ahead of the curve on noticing this.
We could. No doubt we'll find out actually, but that's definitely intriguing. And then we get these sequences on the planet where obviously eventually we find out what the planet's doing, is giving you what you want to get you to stay. And I like that it tells us more about the characters. Like Zero gets a maze with the engine at the center. So Zero is someone who likes to have mysteries to solve. Zero's thinking a lot about this engine and what is it and why are there two warp engines and then this thing in the middle. So I like that the way they've brought that back, the mystery, but Zero's obviously someone who's very drawn to this kind of. And Rock's just adorable and just sees a load of, they look like them Furby things that you used to get.
Yeah, sees loads of Furbies and she's in heaven.
Exactly. And then Dal sees his parents. We know that Dal has got this mysterious past, so it's all good.
But it doesn't remember the faces though either.
Yes, they've got the back to him, and then Kate Mulgrew gets to give us a little bit of almost evil Janeway, where Janeway becomes like the embodiment of the planet and turns on him, and so she gets to ham it up a little bit there, which is good fun. And
we have what is it, Pokum Jar. Just sees something he wants to eat.
Yeah, exactly. His is the simplest. And when they go around and rescue them all, it's like you see that like Rock's really upset. She's like, well, they've hurt my feelings. Why would they make these cute things and then take them away just to manipulate me?
Yeah.
Whereas Jank and Pog just don't care. Like, well, you know.
But it's tasted so nice. Hold on, why was I the last one you rescued?
Yeah. And then obviously Gwyn sees a dad, and there's quite a bit of development for Gwyn here. She goes from this antagonistic thing, and it obviously sets up this thing of, is she going to save Murph or not? Well, of course she's going to save Murph.
Yeah, because it's Murph. How could you not save Murph?
Exactly. And then I was a bit caught off guard with this. We get a cliffhanger. So Prodigy, I assumed it was all going to be standalone episodes with sort of arc plots running through it. But no, we've gone for a direct cliffhanger here. So there's no other way you can look at it. This is a cliffhanger, and so is this a sign of things to come? Are we going to get a big cliffhanger next week? Because I was going to say we're going into our mid-season break, but it's not the mid-season, so we're going into our quarter-season
break
next episode. So maybe we're going to get a whacking great big cliffhanger. I mean, the most obvious would be that the planet keeps them there long enough for the Diviner to catch up with them.
Yeah, I was thinking that the Diviner would be the cliffhanger, but they've got to get away still.
Maybe, yeah. Anyway, it'll be fun to find out. I mean,
we see the Protostar crashes.
Yeah. So it's going to take a bit of fixing. Yeah.
Well, is it going to take a bit of fixing, or is it going to just need all whatever it was entangling it bringing off? Because it was sort of pulled down, wasn't it?
True, but they've still got to get back there, and Anyway, definitely enjoying Prodigy. And next week will be the first week in 22 years that we've had two new Trek shows on the same day.
Wow.
And when I say we, obviously, I mean only if you live in America. I know we said we'd show
Canada
about the Paramount thing, but you've got to allow us to have a couple of digs as we go through. Anyway, going back then, let's look at the next one of the Dominion War, the Die is Cast, the second of the two-parter. And this is an absolutely cracking episode, is this?
Oh, I don't know if you noticed my thumbnail that I've done.
Yeah.
And I did, just to show that Garrick and Odo actually don't really mean it when they're doing all this. I thought that was a lovely picture I managed to find.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the actors behind the scenes. And this is, in terms of the ambition, in terms of the scope, in terms of the storytelling.
Where this would be a season finale, or if last week had been the season finale, this would have been a great season opener.
Yeah.
And for season 3, that they're this confident that it's not the season finale.
No, absolutely. It's just brilliant. So we get one of my favorite arcs in all of Deep Space Nine is O'Brien and Bashire's friendship. And we've not quite got to the stage where I would say they're actually friends at this point. We've got to the stage where O'Brien's tolerating him.
Yeah. Don't you think this is a nice contrast, though, that the episode starts so much mirroring how the last episode started? Absolutely, it's Bashir having a meal with someone.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. And then we get a massive big fleet decloaking to go through the wormhole. Is it ever officially established that you can't go through the wormhole if you're cloaked? Because otherwise there's no reason to decloak.
I've got a feeling that it's maybe something to do with the tachyons, that why you can't go through cloaks.
It must be that, because otherwise there's no reason to decloak other than just to show off.
Or you'd see the worm, or all you'd see was the wormhole open and close.
Exactly, yeah. So it sets up, wow, we've got this massive big fleet. We knew it was there, obviously, from but to see it on screen is just brilliant. And then we go back we pick up with Nabrantane and Garak, and they're just reminiscing now, like old times. They're having a bit of, like, remember when to torture people and interrogate them? And
do you remember that interrogation you did on that doctor? That was brilliant. You just stared at him for 4 hours and he cracked.
You just broke him, yeah.
You obviously had that much of a reputation.
And then
that tells you, like, what has Garrett done in other interrogations and all that to have the sort of reputation where he can just stare at someone for a few hours to crack them.
He's clearly done much gorier interrogations than this, but he also had the ability to just stare at someone until they cracked, essentially.
Yeah.
And he mentions the business with the arms merchant, and this is all to do with Gul Dukat. And this is another Garak mystery, is we never get why exactly Dukat and Garak hate each other.
No, it's...
Again, Andrew Robinson answers it in the book, which, as we know, the books are non-canon, but Andrew Robinson really put a lot of thought into that. It's not just a cheap tie-in, cash grab, anything like that. He really thought about Garak's backstory, and if you want a good account of it, it's in there. But officially, canonically, we don't know, other than it's something to do with an arms merchant. And then there's a nice bit where Inabrantane's talking about, well, I'm going to have to kill Mila because she knows too much. And Garak, you can see, doesn't want this to happen. And as we talked about last week, we know it's because she's his mum. Or we assume that that's the case. Again, it's never officially confirmed.
It's never officially brought forward.
But it's absolutely there in all text and everything. And we find out that she actually believed Garak was innocent. And Inabrantane's still, I'm still probably going to have to kill her. So...
Yeah, she knows too many of my secrets.
Yeah. We talked about this last week as well, where Garak was sort of testing the Romulans in front of Tane. And he does it again here, where the Romulan says, we're going at warp 6. And he goes, warp 6? I'm sure we can do better than that.
Yeah, is something wrong with your engines?
Yeah. So it is just brilliant how both Tane and Garak are just playing these games with each other.
They're playing games with each other, and they're playing games with Romulans. And
yeah, it's just all one-upsmanship, isn't it? And it culminates in Garak's got to interrogate Odo. And all these scenes between the two of them are brilliant in this episode.
Oh, it's like there's the part before he starts torturing him when they're talking, and Odo's like disgusted in the fact he's betrayed him, and Garak goes, yeah, because I swore my loyalty to the Federation and you, didn't I? And I've...
Yeah, and he's right.
He's right. I haven't done any of this. I'm a Cardassian.
Yeah, he's done nothing of the sort, and he's never had any intention to. And yeah, Odo why would Odo assume he's a good guy? Odo spent years saying, no, he's a spy. We shouldn't trust him.
Yeah, he's a spy. He's part of the Obsidian Order.
Yeah. And Odo thinks it's because Garak's feeling guilty about what he's done. And he's probably right. But I think he can only be basing that on instinct at this point, because nothing Garak has done in terms of his actions would lead you to that conclusion.
No.
Maybe Bashir knows him well enough to make that assumption, but Odo...
I think Bashir gets played a lot by Garak. And I'm sure there is a friendship between Garak and the Doctor. But I'm sure from Garak's point of view, a lot of it is he just enjoys winding him up.
Yeah, there's a
and
lot
feeding it and watching him swallow all his lies. And
then Tane, this is a real sort of baller move from Tane. I'm going to send out a transmission saying that I'm off to kill them all. And he's just there. Yeah, I'm going to destroy all of them. Away we go. And then the Starfleet Admiral's response to it is pretty great. He's like, well, we've run a few scenarios and we think that he's got a good chance at it. So, yeah, we're not going to do anything.
Yeah, we're not going to interfere.
Yeah. It solves a lot of problems.
It solves a huge amount of problems, but end of the day, what is the problem? Up until this point, we are still at the point where the founders are not the aggressors. All they have done is said, stay out of our space. And when the Federation have gone into their space, they've had the asses kicked.
Yeah.
Because they're an invading force. And now the Federation are there going, oh, we're just going to let this fleet of Romulans and Cardassians go wipe out the entire planet. Genocide. Well, that's complicity.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they could warn them. But
yeah, you've been complacent in a war crime.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, to be honest.
We've spoken about this, and I think it's something that a lot of people, because we do always support the Federation, but when you're really looking at this, the whole Dominion War is the Federation's fault.
Yeah.
The founders actually do nothing wrong.
Yeah, they're not the good guys at this point, the Federation, and we're going to go to darker places. So, and obviously, Sisko decides to be defiant because he's got a crew member over there, and that's what Star Trek captains do. They defy orders to save
They defy orders because they know that they're morally right.
Exactly, and Tane's questioning Garak's ability now to question Odo, and Tane knows how to play Garak because that's how you do it. You just go, I don't think you can do this. Yes, I can. And that's it.
Yeah.
Even if he don't want to, he's gonna now.
It's like Garak says, Odo is very thorough. Everything he saw and learned will have been in his report.
Oh, yeah.
No, but find out the secret.
Right. But I think for Tane, it's probably, I want to see if he'll do this to someone who might.
I think it's also a bit of a loyalty test.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It absolutely is. He just wants to see whether Garak will do it or not. And ultimately, it does just come down to Garak just needs to break Odo. It's not a question of actually getting useful information.
Yeah. Well, it isn't useful information, is it?
No, it's not. It's like it prevents him from shape-shifting, which gives us this great opportunity to have the makeup dripping and everything like that.
And him drying out and his skin peeling and...
Yeah, and it is absolute torture. And Garak just does get to the point where from Garak's perspective, he needs to get something out of Odo that he doesn't know. Whether that's relevant or not, he can't go back to Tane and
You've got to tell me a secret.
Yeah. until he's broken Odo, he can't go back to Tane. But Garak doesn't care what that is. He's practically begging Odo at one point. He's saying,
just tell me something so I can make this stop.
That I don't know. And then that's it. I can do it, but I can't stop this interrogation until I've done that, because I'll lose face with Tane.
Yeah.
If I don't. And that's so lovely and complex, is that situation. And it kind of makes you on Garak's side a little bit, but you're like, well, you can stop. This is just about saving face with Tane. You could go back and go, I couldn't get anything out of him. But at the same time, Garak cares enough about Odo to go, look, please just tell me something so I can stop. But he doesn't care enough to go, I would rather go back to Tane and tell him I got nothing than take you out of your pain. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to put you through this pain. I want it to be over as quickly as it can, but I will still do it to get what I want. So it's just that beautiful grey area of he's doing something right, but not enough.
Yeah, he's definitely a bad guy at this point.
Yeah, and Odo's admission is just wants to go home to his people, which doesn't give him anything. And when Garak reports that back to Tane, Tane's not surprised. You know, Garak even says, like, you know, I couldn't get anything else out of him. So what is it then? Because it's not proving it to Tane that he's doing. Is it proving it to himself that he can still get something out of someone?
Possibly that he can still break someone.
Yeah.
How long was he on the station before, like, the Kardashians abandoned it?
Yeah, a long time.
So it's sort of like, well, have you lost your edge?
Yeah, because
being a tailor sort of dampened you.
Yeah, because, I mean, we were just going through that there on the assumption that it's because he has to prove something to Tane, but he doesn't tell Tane, so
yeah,
it's his benefit that he's doing it. Yeah.
It's sort of like, I'm proving that I can still break someone in an interrogation. And it's not about what you learn might be totally pointless, because you might already have they've probably put all the info already in reports, so you know everything. And it's learning that one little secret about it all.
Yeah, that makes it even worse that this isn't for Tane's benefit. This is purely for Garak's, you know. Back on the Defiant, though, we get another start of what turns out over the course of the show to be a brilliant story arc, because we get Eddington sabotaging the ship under orders from the Admiral.
Yeah.
And at this point, Eddington's been presented as Mr. Starfleet. I do what the Admiral tells me. Whereas obviously the way Eddington's going to go,
you can see it because he was sent to DS9. Cisco didn't pick him as the security chief. He was sent there. And then the Admiral's giving him an order. And he's carried it out.
Yeah, exactly. And you get a great line from Cisco where he says, and I make it a policy never to question the word of someone who wears that uniform. And obviously, with what happens with Eddington further down the line, that's going to become a really big thing. So it's lovely that the seeds of that are planted.
Well, this is where it's first planted, isn't it? Because he goes, don't make me regret my decision.
Yeah, exactly. So that's brilliant. And I love the look that O'Brien gives him when he finds out Eddington sabotaged it. And he's just like, you go fix it, O'Brien. And he just looks at him like he's a piece of shit. It's brilliant. And then obviously we get to the attack. So they're ready to open fire on the planet, and there's 150 Jem'Hadar ships, which just shows that despite how clever the Obsidian Order and the Tal Shiar thought they were, the changelings
they've been played. Well, they're not even. The changelings have all moved off the planet.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
But they're doing something because they're showing that there's all the life signs on the planet.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And then you see them starting to glass the surface.
Yeah.
With, like all disruptors and phasers firing into it.
Yeah. And that's it. And there's a brilliant bit where the Romulan, who turns out to be a changeling, he says, right, we've taken out effectively the Romulans and the Cardassians here. The only other threats are the Federation and the Klingons. And they're not going to be a problem for a while.
For much longer.
Time. And that's obviously setting up what happens in season 4. They've got this plan to make the Klingons and Federation go to war with each other.
Yeah.
So it's just brilliant forward planning and all these story arcs that are gonna come in, intertwine.
Yeah, you've got these great episodes, and this is a great episode, the story of it.
Yeah.
And like the first parts of this story were in Defiant, which was what, season 2?
Yeah. No, it's a Defiant season 3, but early season.
Is it? Right. But all this is like coming, all these little threads of different things coming together.
Yeah. And then we get what was probably up to this point, and we're going to say that a lot as we go through DS9. Probably up until this point, the best starship battle Star Trek's done. Certainly on TV. Some of them would make an argument. But we'd never seen anything like this on Star Trek Weekly television at this point. And it's just incredible. You've got the Defiant with those blammy phasers and the bit where Cisco holds off until they get right up their ass and then it's through about 4 of them. It's just brilliant. We've never had anything like that. The only thing that lets it down is that you cut back to the bridge and they go, we've got one of them following us. And then the culmination of the battle is just Kira pressing a button because we've obviously run out of money to
do anything else.
One getting blown up. So it's a bit of a shame.
It's like the budget, like for TV shows at the time, the budget this must have been getting must have been through the roof. Because you didn't get TV like this.
No, you didn't. This is just phenomenal. I mean, obviously, we're about half a dozen episodes away from Way of the Warrior, which is going to lift that bar.
Yeah.
Higher. But at this point, this was just spectacular. And it still holds up very, very well.
A lot of DS9 holds up really well. Like, one of the reasons that there's everyone keeps going, they want to see the remastered version of DS9. And they go, it was all shot in widescreen, so it'd lend itself to the format of today's TVs. But one of the big problems is, compared to next gen, they'd moved to CGI animation.
That's it, yeah.
And you have to actually do completely new CGI.
Yeah.
And all that. You can't just sort of like remaster it, and it's that expense that is the problem.
Yeah, same problem with the motion picture, though they are bringing that to 4K later this year.
Yeah.
Or next year now. And guess what? That's on Paramount Plus, so we're not going to see it. So, sorry, another dig at them, but I think we're doing well. And Babylon 5 has the same problem.
Babylon 5 remaster. I'm actually watching Babylon 5 at the moment.
Yeah.
Rewatching it. I've just started season 5. And the remastered version does look a lot better.
Yeah, but they can't do it a full HD remaster
because
of the effects for the same reason.
Because of the effects, yeah. You can only lift them so far. You can't bring them into HD and all that.
So instead of spending the money on doing that, they're just letting him do a brand new series of it. So
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that as well. And then obviously we do still get, despite all this battle and excitement going on, we do still get some great character moments. Like Odo's just confessed at the point of all this pain that he wants to go home. And then almost immediately, a founder asks him if he wants to come home. And he refuses again.
Yeah.
So even though he does have a desire to do it, he knows it's the wrong thing to do at this point.
Yeah, his place isn't with them at the moment.
So it shows how selfless Odo is. as a character.
Yeah, and he also saves Garak, and the other changelings confused by that.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't blame him at this point, because I think Odo's one of them guys where he's like, Garak's under my care at this point. So even if I have to save his life, get him home, and then send him to Nick, that's my job to do, not anyone else's. He's like one of them Wild West sheriffs who's like, no, he's my prisoner.
He's my prisoner, I'll protect him.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will get him to the hanging judge.
Exactly, yeah. I'm not going to let anyone else shoot him in the meantime. And then we do get some nice sequences with Odo and Garak at the end. There's a lovely shot of when Garak's cleaning the thing and you only see Odo in the reflection in the mirror. And that's just brilliantly framed. And it's an artistic flourish that the director didn't need to do, but it shows that
there's the care to little details.
Yeah, the creativity, the freedom to sit there and go, oh, that's interesting. I've got a mirror. I could frame a shot and this will look so much cooler. So brilliant.
And then there's another little nice exchange between Odo and Garak here.
Yeah.
Where Quark wants to take this space and put some sort of gambling thing there. But we could get a tailor, but Cisco probably wouldn't mind the tailor's shop. And then you get the real Garak, and he goes, do you know what the really sad thing about all this is? I'm actually a really good tailor.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. And he's left the interrogation out of the report as well.
Yeah. So
he keeps Odo's secret, despite the fact that he went to such lengths to extract it.
Yeah, it's really... It's all like... I find it very strange that Garak's just allowed back onto his shop because he's like betrayed the Alpha Quadrant.
He has, really. This is pretty bad news. Yeah. I mean, Star Trek does have... We do this with some of our recurring characters. Like, we let them get away with things that they shouldn't do, because we need to keep them on the show. Like, I think we will get to it as part of the Dominion War arc, but I think it's the season 4 finale where Garak sabotages the Defiant while they're in the middle of Dominion space, and he tries to open fire on the new changeling homeworld, and it's like, yeah, that's a bit far.
Yeah.
That one you probably won't get away with. But anyway. And
we'll get to that one.
Well, they agree they're going to start having breakfast. So Garak's getting a very full social calendar. He's got breakfast with Odo, dinners with Bashir.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole crew.
Like, that shows a thing, though, from Odo, that he's... Like, does he want to find out more about Garak? Is that why he's doing it? That we should have breakfast?
It could be. He's maybe a bit like Quark. I can keep an eye on him if I...
Yeah, Odo is obviously very good at the spy business himself and finding out things, and he has his own contacts all over that we see lots of times. Oh, I'll use this contact, and I've used this contact, and who are these people?
Garak would definitely be a good contact to have, but you'd never know whether what he's telling you is right or not.
I think Odo can see through him, though.
Maybe to some extent, yeah. Well, we'll find out. Again, this won't be the last time we see Odo and Garak. So
it won't.
And like you say, the amazing thing is this isn't even the season finale, though.
I know. I know it's not mid-season. It's getting towards the end of season 3, but it's still only getting towards the end, and they're throwing out things like this.
I do think, to an extent, the actual season finale does suffer a little bit because of this two-parter.
Yeah.
Wow, if they do that, there must be something amazing coming in the finale. And it's a good finale, but it's not as good as this. But then they make up for that by giving us Way of the Warrior as the season
what you get
premiere.
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining. Anyway, so that'll do us for this time. Next week, then we're going to be covering Prodigy and Discovery.
Prodigy quarter season finale.
Yeah, and then the season
and Prodigy season 4 premiere.
Yeah, which is going to be fun.
Regardless of what Paramount Plus have done, we're going to manage to see them.
Absolutely, like they say in Jurassic Park, life finds a way. So don't ask us; we won't tell you. But rest assured, we will be covering it. So if you want to get in touch with us in the meantime, we're on Twitter at RetrekPod. You can email us retrekpod@gmail.com. You can come and join us on the Facebook group. One last request. Totally understand if you don't want to hear our coverage of the upcoming episodes, if you're not able to access them. Just leave your subscription on, though, on your podcatcher, so we get the downloads. But, you know what I mean? You can listen, you can delete them straight away, but just, let us
you can look at it as something to catch up with later. You can
just
listen to us when you do finally get to watch these.
Yeah, leave your subscriptions running if you don't mind. That'd be really nice. Anyway.
Hopefully it'll be very early next year when they get this Paramount Plus international release sorted, but
we hope so.
Really angry about it.
Yeah, I'm not best impressed, if I'm honest, but like I say, if you want to come and have a good moan about it, come and join us on the Facebook group.
Yeah. Open to moan.
Absolutely. But thanks for trekking with us this time, and we'll see you next time on the Retrek.
Thank you. Bye-bye.